Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be making the November journal. Yes, Elizabeth throwing out a video on a random Thursday. You're here for it, and I appreciate it. Um, yeah, seeing as what 2 days starts November, so I'm filming this ahead of time. But anyway, we're here. Okay, so I have all the things, hopefully, cross your fingers, that I need to finish making this journal. I have, if yeah, I have been using the same type of journal for, I do believe, the last 2 years. Each of my journals holds 1 month of journaling, and I simply make it out of a white mailing envelope. That's it. So, uh, yeah, if you're looking for an inexpensive way to make a journal, this ends up being, I do believe, 9 by 6. It's the perfect size to fold like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in half and use it for your signature. It just has been so easy, yeah, for me. And the way my life is right at the moment, I need as easy as I can get, right? So I take this and I fold it in half. There are lots of different ways that I do the covers, and that's what I like about them as well. You can get like manila envelopes at the Dollar Tree, I do believe, just so you know. Uh, the napkin, this is a napkin that I use to cover the inside and the outside. Came out super nice, I think. And these I got. Now this little red dot here, that means that you're going to pay more than 125. Okay, so these serviettes were probably a buck 50, but they're beautiful, and I'll probably use them year after year after year. I don't have a whole lot of like fall stuff. Like I don't have fall scrapbook paper, which would have really been great for an insert, but or to cover this or whatever the case is. I just don't have it. So I have to use other means, right? So you get creative. And I would much rather spend $1.50 on napkins that I can cover this with than to spend $20 on a pad that I might use 4 pages out of. That is just me. So yeah, let's see. I have my November, that this is my hand lettering. You can, I actually made a different one for this one, but down below in the printable section there, I did do a printable of 3 different Octobers and 3 colors, 3 Novembers and 3 Decembers for your use for free. So make sure you check that out. And then I went ahead and did the 2025. So this is basically how it's going to go. Now I did, and I showed you in the ramble session this week, I made this little charm thing, and it's so cute and I love it. Now, I want to hang it, of course, from the side here. So that's why I reinforce this little bit right here. I'm going to put one here and one here. I glued this on this morning just to make sure that it would dry before I tried to sew it. And so I'm just going to show you. Yeah, well, let's just finish going through. I have little eyelets. For the closure here, I have dyed seam binding for the closure. Now, do you need to use eyelets? No. You can easily put a piece of fabric to sturdy up this spot and then poke a hole in it. So in other words, you don't need all these special things. I'll try as I go along to give you alternatives if I can. But eyelets are not necessary for the closure. Yeah, you can put a little bit of scrapbook paper that would reinforce it a little bit better so it doesn't tear with the opening and closing of the journal. Fabric, lots of different things you can use. So there's that. You will need a hole punch. I have this one, and it's a We Are Memory Keepers, and I only use this one because that's what clamps my eyelets. Um, but if you're using paper or if you're using fabric or lace or something like that to reinforce the hole, you just need a hole punch. Seam binding, you don't have to use seam binding. I don't even think they make this seam binding anymore. Very unfortunate. But you use whatever you have. You could use a piece of lace, you can use a piece of fabric, you can use a piece of string, or use a piece of yarn. There are a lot of different things you can do. So there's that. This is going to go down here just to make it kind of uniform looking. I like the look of that. To bind it in, I use embroidery floss. Again, I do believe you can get a whole pack of this for fairly inexpensive at the Dollar Tree, right? I'm pretty sure I've seen it there. So there's that. I use a needle. Usually I use a tapestry needle because it has a blunt tip to it. I have an awl. This awl here is probably over 100 years old. It was from my husband's like adopted grandmother, I guess you could call, she was the grandma of the church when we were younger. And yeah, no blood relation, but she was a beautiful woman. And so she gifted me her sewing notions. And then, of course, we have the innard signature, which I'll talk about later. And then I have this here. Now, these are the days of the week, and the design is from Rebecca Hoot. I will link her below. These, I do believe, might be from last year, which is perfectly fine. Last year and maybe the year before, I'm not really sure. But yes, I'll leave her link below. And look at this beautiful gal, huh? Yeah, I think I'm going to use her on my opening page. We will see. But super beautiful hand painted stickers that I received so graciously in Happy Mail. And I've had a lot of fun using them. So I think that's everything. Here you see a nail file. Now, I'll tell you what I use this for. You do not have to do it. I'm just telling you an easier way to clean up the sides of your journal because this is a napkin and it's so thin. I do my best to cut very closely around, after I glued this on the inside. But then there's always just seems to be like a little bit of hangover, right? So if you go in the direction, if you file in the direction of the paper, right? Because what's hanging over is this back paper, to the front. So if you just go like this very lightly, it will come off. Okay. So there's just a little tip for you. Now, let's see. I think I might just go ahead and use Distress. This is walnut stain. Again, don't have to do this, and I don't even know if I'm going to like it in the end. We'll have to see, but it just adds a little definition around it. Um, and sometimes I sew around the edges, sometimes I don't. It just all depends. Um, yeah, I'm not sewing it this time. The other thing you could do is because, well, it doesn't really matter what it is, but I really like using this substrate. Okay, just the white, plain white envelope. I purchased a box years ago. I have no idea what my intention was, but now it has been very useful over the last few years, and I just love this size. This is like a sample of it. Starts out, of course, like this with blank pages, but then it ends up like this, and I just absolutely love it. I love it. Now, another option you could do is paint with acrylic paint. That's how I did this one. So yeah, there are lots of ways to decorate just a plain envelope. It just gives you so much, I think, so much more like opportunity for creativity. Okay, so golly, that was a big intro. I just do this very messily. I'm not, yeah, like it doesn't matter to me. Okay. I'm not going to do it up this side because I tend to think personally that it kind of weakens, weakens that crease there. So we're just going to go like this. Yeah. So how are you guys doing? Do you already have your November book done? I'm going to attempt to be careful here because I really don't want it on that little patch thing that I did. Yeah, have you guys done yours? Sorry if I'm all up in your girl. Yeah, I'm excited now. I have to tell you that I have not even started writing in my October journal. Can you believe that? After all that chunky goodness you just saw, and there is not an iota of writing in it, but not to worry, it'll get done. It's no big deal to me. But I've been super thrilled because I have been getting, even though I do it, in stages and stuff, my journals, I have been getting them done. So I do have, I think I might have actually completed journals for this whole year, which is crazy talk. That's crazy talk in my world. So but super fun. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we are going to use this. Now, this I received at an estate sale. Do you have to have it? Absolutely not. Okay, let's just get you centered here. All right, I have no idea, or I did not know until I read it, what this was. It is ribbon to cross stitch. Okay, so I guess it's like cross stitch fabric in here with a little border on it. Super cute. Made in Germany. And yeah, cool. But it comes out of South Carolina. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're using it here. Okay. So that was a great find, and I'm super glad I'm able to use it. Okay. I need the Fabri-Tac, the stinky glue, and we are going to see. I did, yeah, I have the crease. I kind of creased it with my finger just so I know, where the middle would be. And I also burned the edges, like just very lightly with a little lighter that I have so that they don't fray later. Okay. Now that one might. So let me see if I can burn that one. And I'll do it here. Yep, that's fine. I don't care as long as it doesn't fray. Okay. So now with this one up here too, I did not put glue right on the crease because I will be sewing through this. This one, it doesn't really matter because I will be not sewing through it. And I put them in such a way, or I am putting them in such a way that, come on now, that when I sew this signature in, I'm going to be sewing the line right above, yeah, right above this. I'll show you what I mean. All right, golly, this stuff is like, it's like glue. All right. Hopefully that's good. All right. Now I'm putting it down here roughly in the same, equidistant, from the bottom and the top. All right. Right on. Scooch that over just a little bit. Just so that the center is right on it. Okay. Now I'm going to squeeze it out. There we go. Okay. Now, look how cute that is, right? Okay, we're going to just leave it like that though. Okay, now let's see what the first thing I need to do is make my loop for this right here. Okay, and I do this like freehand or whatever. I don't measure anything. I really did, used to be that type that like measured everything precisely and all of that. I do not do that any longer. Can you believe it? Yeah, I just don't care. Huh. Imagine that. I'm growing and learning every day. Now, I usually do not tape these these videos because they can go so awry and I don't like that. All right. Oh, let's glue this because see what happens. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it starts bubbling out if you don't put the cap on right away. It's really annoying. So anyway, okay, I'm going to poke my two holes and I'm just eyeballing this because I don't know. You know what? We're going to go this way. Okay, we're going to go crazy here. A lot of times it's easier to do it the other way. And yes, my finger's in there, but I'm going very lightly through. And now I'm opening it up and I'm just putting a little bit of pressure and turning my awl just to make a point, right? And I'm going to do, all right, you know what? Now I'm going to turn it on the inside here. That's where it came out of. Yep. Okay. So now we kind of know where to put this one. If it's totally centered, it's great. If it's not, then that's okay too. I only put the hole about a half an inch right here. I think about a half an inch. Yeah, good enough, good enough. All right, here is my yarn. I start on the inside because that's where I end up tying it, right? So this goes right through there. And this is going to be fun. Oh, there, we did it. Well, good. Okay. There is a lot of flipping back and forth, back and forth. I do this about 3 times. And then the charm actually is going to go on last. I will put the charm on last. Yeah. A lot of flipping and all that. It'll all be good. I hope. It will all be good. I'm trying not to split the yarn. I mean, not that it really makes a difference, but just in case it does. Now, see what I'm noticing here, which is perfectly fine. First of all, it's a little bit off. Okay. It's going a little diagonal. I don't care. And then I could have brought this hole down further. I did not, but that's okay too, because that clip will fit fine in that. So no big deal, right? I mean, I could freak out about it, trust me, but I'm not going to. So there's that. All right, take the needle out. I'm just going to kind of, try, attempt, whatever, make it tight. Will it? I don't know. And I just tie a knot. I've never had a charm fall off yet. However, I haven't had a charm that is this large before. So we shall see. We shall see. And I just cut it off like that. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get our papers here. Now, what I do is I always have a piece of vellum, here, just because I like the way it looks. I like the sound of it and all of that. It's only for decoration. That's it. Now, I was going to go and try to print out another like fallish, kind of thing, vellum piece, but I thought, you know what? I need to use what I have. So I refused to print out anymore. I just simply refused. Okay, so we're going to put this in here and we're just going to line it up on our own, eyeballing it. Okay. Now, here's the thing too. I put, and let's just double check. I know you guys are probably not thrilled with the whole counting thing, but we're going to double check just to make sure. I put 16 pages in my books because I like to have double layouts. Okay. In other words, this is the cover page. I'll probably put, this on it. We'll see if she fits. I hope she does. And then this would be my November 1st. Okay, this and this. Yeah. Okay, so here is, no, we're going to count the pages. 1, 2, 3. I don't count doilies. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, this is not the one I wanted in here. What is happening? Hang on one second. I've got to change that out. I don't know what I did wrong there. The reason I'm changing it out is because this is Christmas. I'd actually put it in this one, and so I don't know what happened. Oh no, I have 2 of them. Oh geez. Okay. Let's see here. You know what? I don't have any brown paper in this one, so we'll go ahead and put, oh, look at that. It's a pocket. Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and put that in there. And then take this out. Okay, and we'll deal with you later. All right, so there you have it. I have a variety of pages, as you just saw. It's all sorts of good stuff in here. Now, this one, okay, I've shoved them all together. And what 16 pages gives you is, oh, I think I already told you that. I'm just trying to be thorough because some of you guys ask questions afterwards. So I just want to try to be as thorough as I can. 16 pages for 2 double spreads. It gives you, not for 2 double spreads, for a double spread using 2 pages, right? And in the end, you have enough space for all 31 days. Okay. It actually gives you, I do believe, 32. Yeah. Because 4. Yeah. it gives you 32 spaces to write on. So plenty of room for an entire month, big or small, you know? Then you put them all in here, making sure that they all fit down this side. It's not that big of a deal. It makes it easier if you cut this stuff to keep it within the confines of the journal cover before you sew it in. If you don't, and you realize, oh, one of them sticking out a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. You just cut it off with a ruler or whatever. Okay, so I am just eyeballing this so that it has about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom and about 1/4 of an inch at the top. And I can move it up a little bit. Okay. Now what I forgot to get out was my big paper clips. These make it so much easier to keep everything held together. So we're going to open this up, and I hope you guys are, able to see all that I am doing. I have these large paper clips. I could not tell you where I got them at. It could have very well been the Dollar Tree. I get a lot of stuff at the Dollar Tree. So, or it might not have been. So I'm not really sure. They're in varying sizes. They're up and down. It doesn't really matter as long as they're all adhered into the book. Now I take this and I push this in real well. And I'm going to have to kind of eyeball where these are going to go. So they're going to go about at least, 1 inch down and 1 inch up maybe. Because I want them to go here, middle, and here, right? Right above that. I don't need to go through this again because I've done this for, a couple years and there is not a problem with that. So I am going to kind of eyeball this as far as where the middle is. See there. And then we're going to get to poking. And you just put pressure. It's going to be coming out here. Make sure you're aware there. It's coming out now. Aware of where your fingers are and all, Okay, so there's that one. And then I'm going to feel this here with my finger on the outside of the book. I'm going to move up a little bit. Okay, so right about there. Put a little bit of pressure or a lot of bit of pressure there. It starting to come out. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to kind of try to maybe there. Where is this one? There, yeah. All right. All right, let's go for it. Do it right on the crease. You have, a better chance. And keep the book closed. That's the other thing too. Then you have a better chance of getting it right in the crease and not having it come out the front or a little to the back. Okay, now we're going to get this and hope that this goes smoothly. So I measure 1, 2, 3. That's pretty standard. However, I always have, a bunch left over, which is perfectly fine because I'd rather have too much than too little. Okay, let's get the eye of the needle here. And some spit and mashing of the teeth on the thread gets it through the eye. Okay, there we go. Now, keeping these on. Now, let me just stop and think here. Okay, I did this. Yes. All right. I should have kind of made a list, Okay, there we go. I start in the middle. A lot of flipping and flapping of this one as well as you turn it and try to figure out where you're going. So here is, I go to the top, went right through, perfect. Okay. I go back, I go down to here. There we go. Oh, this is working swimmingly, although I probably shouldn't have said anything. All right. You can pull it a little bit. Now we're going to go back through the middle, which is kind of hard for me to see, I have to say. Hopefully this goes through. And you do not want, see, this is going to give me an issue, and I don't know why. And this is precisely why I don't usually film these. Why is this not going through? Okay. We're going to put our all back through it, see where it's coming out. Okay, there we go. Alrighty then. Will this go? Yep, there we go. All right. Now, the only other thing in here is that you need to have your strings, right, on one on the left and one on the right, so that when you do your knot, you're crossing over this center piece, okay? So I'm going to pull this gently because I don't want to rip anything. And I'm just going to pull it so that it becomes taut, but again, not tearing anything. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Take our needle off, put it in our cork. This was like from an old pepper container. All right. We are going to go like this. And I tie it usually just 3 times. And just however you do a knot. I've never had any problem. Okay, now some people, here's some suggestions. I mean, some people put different pages. We can take these off now. Different pages on different days, or when they're sorting through it, they, maybe they make sure to, like, for instance, this month is Thanksgiving. Maybe you're doing something on Thanksgiving, so you want to have extra room or something like that. So you make sure that maybe this pocket page fits onto the 20 something, whenever Thanksgiving is this year. I'm not really sure, but um, if you understand what I'm saying, right? Say you have a birthday on the 5th, you might have a birthday paper you want to put in here specifically for the 5th, so you can map all that stuff out before you put the pages in. I don't happen to care because generally speaking, I cover these pages up, right? Like, this is beautiful paper. However, it's not necessarily for me fall, I'll cover it up with something. No big deal. Yeah, so I just put random stuff in here. I don't figure it out ahead of time, in other words. So there we go. This is the book closed. It'll find its way. And then this is the inside. So I'm going to put this here. Yes, it's going sideways. No, I don't care. I'm using up the little scraps that I have. This is what is going to hold my days and my dates. All right. So we'll just go ahead and, no, you know what? I'm not going to glue this in right now, but anyway, you get the picture, right? So I have that pocket. I have this. I will put her in here later. But see, now all of these are in here perfectly. I don't do anything to the back. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to find my ruler, because this part I do have an issue with making sure that it's even, right? And that is when we put on my pencil. That's when we put on the eyelets for the, whatever that's called. Closure, yes. Binding and closure. I always somehow get them mixed up. Okay. I think that's, no, where am I here? Okay. This is actually, if you don't have one of these, mine's wearing off, but this is a Tim Holtz, but it's a center ruler as well as a regular ruler, and it has this beveled edge on one side, which is great for tearing paper, and it has a metal part on this side, which is great for using with an X-Acto knife or something. This is probably one of my better investments throughout the time that I've been doing journaling, just because I use this center thing all the time. I use the tearing sides all the time, yeah. So just a little heads up there. And one of you guys asked me for a link for my charms, and I need to put that in my Amazon store. I just have not. So I'm using this, I'm just putting the circle or the dot that I made just right in the center, hopefully. Okay, there's that. Then we get our little eyelet. And then I think this, yeah, this little part with this sticky out part goes on the top. You put that through your eyelet, and then this flatter part with like a hump on it, that is what smashes the eyelet in the back. Okay, there you have it, right? Displayed perfectly, very nice. All right, get that out of there. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So we need our ruler back. Let's just see if we can make this sort of centered. It's about 4.5 inches, like from here, 4.5 inches, from here, 4.5 inches, because it's 9 long, right? So that only makes sense, right? All right, this, hopefully I'll be able to see that. All right, and I use 3/16. To me, I hope that's where I put it. That's just the easiest, in my opinion, I guess. That's the easiest purchasable eyelets. And I need to get some more of these because I love using them. I use them. Whoops, sorry, I just touched you guys on my microphone. I hope that wasn't too loud in your ear. All right, now, oh, you know what? Let me just remind you too. The other thing you want to know is if you put it in right side up or upside down. So make sure, which I did not do. So thank you, that everything is right side up. Not that it really matters because this napkin isn't really directional, but I did have this loop up here, you know? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our seam binding, find the end of it. I, I, I couldn't tell you how I dyed this. Okay. It's been so long, but, probably, oh no. Okay. I probably dyed it with coffee. I mean, I would assume. I don't really know. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. So let's see. I think I need about that much. So I'm going to double it again, just eyeballing it. And then I'm going to cut 2 of them. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to cut 2 of them out and then put this back in the drawer. I really do. It's really such a shame that they don't make this anymore. It used to be, it was called Hug Snug. And yeah, now, but I don't think they sell it anymore, which is really, like I said, a shame. I think I go through the back. All right. We're going to have to find out if that is actually what I do. And if it is, then I'll tell you why. Yes, I think. No, it's not. I go through the front. Okay. So let's try that again. And then I'll let you know why I do it this way instead. If I can get it out now. Come on now. Okay. I go through the front. All right. And then I loop it around. You pull it through like that. Okay. Now you can see the knot on this side. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I like it better to look like that than to look like that. Anyway, it's really just personal preference. That's all. All right. Now, what did I go through, the back or the front? I think I went through the front. And what I mean by front is outside, outside in, I think. All right. I really hope I've been in frame for all this. All right. There we go. So there's our closure. So we're done with that. And now we are going to carefully, I think I'm just going to use, I don't know. I think I'm just going to use glue stick, honestly, for this. We'll see how it goes, right? I mean, if I need to do it again, I'll do it again, and I'll do it with my PVH, I think it's called, glue. So we'll see. But I did put Mod Podge on this, so it almost makes it like a plasticky kind of feel. I'm sorry if I'm jiggling you about. Um, yeah, it kind of makes it kind of, yeah, like plasticky feeling. So, but I do love the way it looks, and I found that trick years ago by Sweet Allison at AJ's Inspired Life. Okay, hopefully that's enough. I think it should be fine, honestly, because um, it is being adhered to a napkin. Now, when I put the napkin on, a lot of people decoupage it or they use, um, the whatever I just told you it was. What's that stuff called? Mod Podge. Some people put Mod Podge on it. I do not, because even this will give me sticky nightmares, okay, for years to come. Mod Podge does not do well in South Florida. Uh, I simply used a glue stick. That's it. I used a glue stick. I very carefully laid the napkin on and then smoothed it out with this tool that I got at where? Dollar Tree. I should just call my channel Dollar Tree Crafts or something. Because I do get a lot of my stuff from the Dollar Tree. All right. So there's that. Hopefully there's enough glue on there. All right. We'll move this down. I'm just going to kind of line it up with this line that's across here. Okay. Then I take this, my rag, and I just smush it down. Now, because it's on a napkin, this is paper and it's not Mod Podge. So I'm not gluing something like a plasticky thing. I'm gluing it to, thin paper. Um, and so it should, being the optimal word, stay adhered, right? So I love that. That looks nice. I like that the brown that I used, it just kind of, it's not overwhelming, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I really like that a lot. Okay, now, so we've done everything except put this pocket in there, but I'll do that later. And then I'll put the girl here, and then I'm ready to go for November 2025. And I, just so you guys know, I do not predate my books at all. No, I do not. Okay, I think I want this on this way. So let's see. Moment of truth. That did not go through all three. There, that did. And there you have it. That's right by the loop. It should be secured on there well enough, even though it's pretty heavy. But because I put this on there to reinforce my stitch right there. So there you have it. Oh my goodness, look at that. So pretty. And let's just see it in all of its glory, because why not? Okay, there it is tied. Here is the little charm. Beautiful, right? Am I right or am I right? Oh, I love it. I love it. Now for some Instagram pics. And I do like how this came out too. It just, makes it look a little, more cohesive. I love that the the way the napkin was, applied, it applied really easily, super smoothly, again, just with a glue stick on a white mailing envelope, but you could very easily use a manila envelope. It'll of course cast a different color behind a napkin or whatnot. However, you can always use white acrylic paint to paint over it if you wanted to, if you had that, inclination. So, oh my gosh, I am loving this. Okay, so there you have it, all done. So I hope that gave you some, ideas, as in that you can inexpensively make, an entire journal. The innards of my book, the pages are random pages of, books that I've taken apart over the years. And what I do typically is I mass make my signatures. So I will sit here one day and I'll make up 20 signatures, enough for a whole year or more of signatures. So when I'm ready to make a new journal, I have the signature already, right? And so it just makes it super easy, super simple, super quick. And now I mean, I could have done this on my own without filming. It could have been done in 15 minutes, because it's on a video, it takes me longer because I tend to talk a little too much. So anyhow, again, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making it with you. I hope it gave you some ideas. Yeah, I'm hoping to link some of the things that some of you have asked me on my Amazon shop. So I will try to do that. And yeah, thank you so much for being here with me. I really, really do appreciate that you choose to spend your time with me. I really, really do. I hope you like this random video on a Thursday making our November book. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful week. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and hype and all that jazz. And I will talk to you all real soon. Bye for now.